Welcome back to From a Schizo. I'm JC, your Catholic schizoaffective host. Happy 2020, everybody. Looks like the world has undergone some changes since the last episode. I can't believe it's been over a year. While I'm still Catholic and I'm still schizo, that has not changed. A change I have decided is to use Anchor FM for the distribution of this podcast. Thanks to Anthony Stein from Return to Tradition for this pro tip. I should now be pretty easy to find and listen to, and there should always be YouTube. Now I need content. I've given you a taste of my life in the previous two shows, and I plan to dive deeper as I progress. I decided to do my best to make this a bi-weekly podcast, and still plan to limit it to under 10 minutes. I will pick up where I left off in the previous two podcasts in the future, as I said I would discuss my use of medicinal cannabis, as well as talk more about the voices I hear and the delusions they try to spread in my head. This will be at a later date, though, as I wish to discuss other topics for the next couple of shows. I will discuss Marian consecration in a full episode or two, and plan to have a good mix of Catholic content consistently throughout the podcasts. Speaking of Catholic content, what about this election and the Catholic vote? Crazy, I know. It's a little ironic that I use that adjective as a pejorative, but I have learned to poke fun at my affliction. Anyway, I'm on board with Catholics for Trump, being a very pro-life Orthodox Catholic, and realizing that we are pretty much in a two-party system. I pray Planned Parenthood is defunded, a promise of President Trump if re-elected. Speaking of President Trump, and on the topic of my schizophrenic voice hallucinations, in February of 2017, some months prior to my return to Catholicism, I was hospitalized for a schizophrenic episode. Prior to going to the hospital and en route in the ambulance, I actually heard Donald's voice. It wasn't just a word or two. There were some sentences uttered. It was quite extraordinary, although election night 2016, I heard Hillary's voice. I can't remember the specifics, but she made it out that, like, in my universe, Trump had won, but that she was somewhere else. The huge speaking fees these people charge in real life, and I get to hear them in the intimacy of my mind. Of course, I don't distort the two. President Trump didn't really speak in my head, nor did Hillary. These were audio hallucinations from my schizophrenia, but it is pretty darn interesting. There's some levity I'm able to maintain in dealing with this now because of my deep Catholic faith. Without its rock, I would be on shifting ground. A permaquake. Sounds like the 3 days of darkness, huh? Stigmatist, Mary Julie Jeheny, pray for us. Well, I hope that has piqued your interest. I'm glad to be back. Would love to hear from you. I'll mention my social medias at the end. And I guess I'll see you next time. This time, hopefully in less than a year. Likely this weekend. All my social medias are From a Schizo. You can go to FromASchizo.com. Twitter, From a Schizo. Instagram, From a Schizo. Twitch, From a Schizo. Facebook, first name From a, last name Schizo. If you want to support me, you can at patreon.com/FromASchizo. Be sure to check out my book, InterWhistle, interwhistle.com, youtube.com/InterWhistle, or Twitter at InterWhistle, INTERWHISTLE. Thank you for your time. I'll be back soon. Pray the Rosary, and all praise be to the Most Holy Trinity.